We had to jump through all kinds of groups to get.
Chitra was waiting to join in.
I can't. Do I have to let anybody in?
I don't know.
I don't see
I'm
that.
Here, I'm here.
No, Chitra is here.
I don't see
Chitra's
you.
here.
Okay, sorry, I don't see you. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Chitra.
Hello, Chitra. Good evening, Chitra.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Rahul. Good evening, Sunita.
Good evening.
Hi,
And
good
Vivek
evening.
and Kumkum. Good evening to everybody. Well,
You left me out.
You left him
Raj,
out.
please
Oh.
don't forget to say hi to Raj.
Raj,
Oh, baby.
you were not on my screen there just now, Raj. Hello, Raj. Hello, Raj. No, you're a regular. Your poem is coming up soon. But we're going to start without any further ado. We've had 11 minutes of chit chat. And so the first poem coming towards you right away, submitted by Vivek. It's coming to you by WhatsApp in just a minute.
Welcome, Minnie.
Hi.
So today we have 3, 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 core members. Very comfortable and how do you say it? This is a good
good number. Yeah.
And a good group. Real regulars.
Regular. It's a Minnie. Minnie's going to become a regular now.
Minnie will become a regular, especially after she's met you.
I know.
There we go.
Fun.
Yeah, that was so fun.
It was great. Okay, we got the poem.
Okay, the poem is on your phone, on your WhatsApp. Have a read, and then we'll start after that.
Donna?
Vivek, your phone is shaking about a lot. It's not steady, your phone or the video. Some of you are muted. You should all be unmuted so that you can participate. Vivek, you're muted. Kumkum, you're muted.
We'll unmute when we have something
Yeah,
to say.
I think that's better because you get feedback otherwise. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the quiet ones can mute. So if we're ready, we can start.
Okay, the poem I'm going to read out to you is a short poem and it's called Love After Love. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you. All your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own images from the mirror. Sit. Feast on your life. That's it.
I think it's pretty straightforward, doesn't need a second reading. It's straightforward in the text, but what it means is quite not so straightforward. And so who would like to have a go at trying to at least summarize the gist of the message? I mean, it's a simple message at one level, so we can all get that. Somebody have a quick go.
Love yourself.
Raj, I didn't catch what you said.
I said, love yourself.
Love yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about the others. Meet yourself. Take a good look at yourself. You're running around paying attention to everybody. Sit back and enjoy your own self. Yes, but how do you do that concretely? What are you supposed to do? Just sit back and pour praise on yourself, flatter yourself, and say how wonderful you are? Surely not. Surely not.
I can say something.
Haan, bolo, bolo.
The way I read it is that as we go through life, we sometimes forget about our innate goodness, and we go for all these things that are sort of, things that you need to be successful. And you go after this and you go after that. And then he says, come look at yourself in the mirror, your true self, which is basically the innate good self. And look at that and reevaluate where you are now and what your innate goodness is, because I believe in the innate.
Yes.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of things I've done that, I was just hankering for what was, the right thing to do in this world to appear successful. And they aren't really me.
They aren't really me. But
No.
that's a different kind of a work, or that is a work to sift the not me, not the real me from the me.
Sit back and do what your real me really wants to do, as opposed
It's
to
not about doing. Sorry, Kumkum, it's not about doing. It's about meeting yourself and enjoying your own company.
I would like to add something.
Please.
So the thought that came to me is that, a lot of times one is, when one is focused on the other persons, on others, for getting approval and one is so dependent, like codependent on another person that, and you move along with that person. If they're happy, then you're happy. If they're sad or unhappy, then you feel guilty why they are unhappy. So your whole focus is outward and not inward. And to be inward, you have to kind of detach from the other person somewhat. So, but that can be a real enmeshment when one is just caught up with other people and always focused on other people. And, if they're unhappy, you feel guilty. Why are they unhappy? As though it's your fault. So it's a kind of self-centeredness also. So when you drop all that and you realize actually it's within yourself only, then that's what this sounds to me like, that come now and just be with yourself. And that's a very calm and satisfying place to be.
Bit more, Sunita. How would that be? How would you be with yourself in a calm and satisfying way without?
Well, it's like you love yourself. You're not waiting for others to tell you that you're lovable. You look at yourself and see how you are lovable and go into that thing. And see that if somebody else is feeling something, then actually it's nothing to do with you. It's their feelings are their feelings, and you haven't done anything. You can't do anything also. You can't even do anything for anybody else. You can't change anybody else. You can't make them do anything. They're doing it to themselves or themselves. So something like that in
Yes,
general.
yes. Yeah, we can all agree on all of that. I'm just trying to flesh it out a bit into something concrete, not just a pious wish.
So detachment from another person is a thing. So detachment means that you let others be, let them do whatever they do, and don't keep reacting to others. Instead, stop and check in within yourself. What is the thing? What is right or wrong, or what you're actually feeling, and just go with your own. Have confidence in your own understanding, your own selfhood, and have faith and confidence in your own selfhood. And
okay, Mickey Kaur, please come in.
Yes. The thought occurred to me that this poem is so much like the Narcissus myth, where Narcissus looks into the beautiful pond and falls in love with himself to the point that he stops feeding himself, etc., and actually dies on the spot. But then what comes up after winter is the beautiful flower Narcissus, which has a golden center, and it's the first harbinger of spring after the winter frost of life. So that something dies for something else to come up. So it's a beautiful poem that you kind of revisit who you are, and you are no longer hustling for self-worth. There are no conditions now on what love should be, could be, is, and there is just an accepting, welcoming of the person coming back and embracing that, whatever that is.
The connotation or the reference to the story of Narcissus, you're making it sound like a good comparison between this poem and that story, but they are actually, although they're looking at the same phenomenon, the two ideas are contrary. Or this poem is actually saying, don't worry about the narcissistic story, be a bit narcissistic, look at yourself, don't worry about being with yourself, giving time and attention to yourself. Be narcissistic. It's a good thing. It's a healthy thing. You need some of it. Don't go around being a do-gooder for everybody else. Take some time for yourself. So, I mean, you can say this thing about looking at yourself in the mirror is very similar, but that's a superficial comparison. The thrust of the poem and the idea is to pay attention to yourself, never mind what others think about you or say about you. Well, we all agree on that.
So this line is like what you're saying, Harbans, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another.
Yeah. We go around helping others and we forget ourselves. And this is very true of a lot of very devoted, good people, wives and doctors and people who go around doing good all over the place to their own detriment. And this is a good reminder to do that. But I'm thinking, how do you treat yourself? What do? You take out a bucket of ice cream and eat that and say, oh, great, I'm a great guy. I've had a great life and I'm really quite good myself. I mean, how do you do this?
I'm sorry, it's introspection. It's re-looking at where you are. You stop on your journey and say, is this the right journey? You don't need to eat ice cream or whatever. It's introspection. No, if it's not the right journey, fall on the right journey, follow the path, mend it.
Yeah, so if you're eating ice cream, you focus on the ice cream.
Yeah, if you're eating ice cream, you focus on the ice cream.
Then you're just stuffing your feelings again if you're eating ice cream. So this is rather like Kumkum is saying, more into introspection and actually coming to terms with yourself and all that stuff which comes into meditation and mindfulness and all that sort of thing.
Your inner self, your inner self has.
I mean, it says give wine, give bread, give back your heart. It's like actually nourishing yourself.
Yeah.
Truly nourishing yourself.
I think ice cream is what it's all about.
Actually, for me, I think the ice cream metaphor is a bit not fair. Oh, no, not fair. What would you say? I mean, it's
exaggerated. Exaggerated.
No, it's too. I forget.
Concrete. Concrete.
No, okay, whatever. Basically, I'm more in agreement with what Sunita is saying. Is that basically it's a far deeper feeling. And actually, I don't know whether any one of you got the feeling, but at least when I read the poem, I almost had this feeling that there was a breakdown in an actual relationship, because there's so much talk of these letters and photographs and notes and stuff like that. But there is this larger picture that is painted in this poem of course, appreciating who you are and just, looking into the mirror at some point in your life and realizing that you don't care really for what others think about you, and like it's a deep, self-righteous feeling that you love yourself, and it's not, I think, in a narcissistic way. Although I love the allusion to the flower coming out in spring and all that. That sounded nice, but a narcissistic way is not the way I think this gentleman is trying to depict in this poem, in my eyes. And just for your information, this has been written by a very celebrated poet who even won the Nobel Prize. And this was, I think, one second, I wrote it down, in 1992. And he's a Caribbean poet, and his name is Derek Walcott. I'll send you the name just now. Mm-hmm. He passed away in 2017. And it's a very unusual love poem, actually, but not a love poem for somebody else, a love poem for yourself.
Indeed.
Yeah,
no,
and so, there's a that word narcissist was kind of usurped by Freud and later Jung, and made to sound like as if it's negative, but actually it's a beautiful, beautiful mythology where you literally behold yourself. You don't look at yourself, but you behold who you are. And you cannot even imagine the wonderment of who you are. And that wonderment then just, you cannot help but fall in love with this miracle thing. And this whole self, I guess, now we can have a whole big, long discussion about what is the self, where is the self, what, all of that. But there is sense of wonderment, like looking at yourself anew, like that daffodil coming up, a totally new life. And I know, because as I'm getting older, I'm looking at the wrinkles on my face and my sagging everything, and I'm loving every molecule of it and loving how beautifully I'm made. So anyway, and
love
on we
that,
go.
Minnie. Can I quickly say, I think exactly what Minnie just also said, I'd like to just expand one sentence on that. And it's like, when you're young, you're always looking to others for, self-approval, and some people pat you on your back and say, wow, Vivek, great job done. And, you're a really good guy and stuff like that. But as you grow older, that need tends to die down. You're looking then, I think, probably you have to just look at the last two lines of this poem, which are so beautiful and so eloquent. Sit, feast on your life. That's what it's all about.
Yes, yes.
Sit, enjoy yourself, relax, take it easy.
And I really liked his use of the word feast, because it gives you it gives you a feeling of abundance, of it's a sensual, large feast. And really, honestly, the human body is just so amazing that how can you not just fall on your knees
Hmm.
and
Sorry to interrupt you, Mickey. Rahul wants to come in, and we have to move on to the next poem. So Rahul, please come in, and we'll have to stop after that for this poem.
So,
Rahul?
Yeah, what I wanted to say exactly, I think everybody said it. It's basically, the person you've lost all your life, slowly, as you've grown older, you've lost him. You want to go revisit him. You want to feast on your life. You want to become one with your old self. I think that's what this poem is all about.
Yeah, and not to be ashamed about it or to think it's a bad thing. Quite the contrary. Enjoy yourself, praising the good things that you have done. Okay, I think we've got quite a lot out of that poem. We'll all have, if not literal ice cream, but we'll all take a little rest and say we've done some good work in this life of ours. I'm very happy for this poem.
Feast away.
It gives us a license to have a little bit of fun for ourselves. Okay, next poem coming up. Kumkum, a short one, but another deep, deep poem. Gone. Okay, I think if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, you won't get it. So who wants to start the discussion?
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please, recite.
Okay. So the name of the poem is Today's Special. Today's special is all natural rage, grilled on a smoldering fire. Its powerful flavor made subtle with age. Today's special is all natural rage, domestically raised in a comfortable cage and fed only free-range desire. Today's special is all natural rage, grilled on a smoldering fire. That's the end.
Raj,
Yes, sir.
as the resident intellectual
Why
puzzle cracker.
Why are you making fun of me for once? When have I cracked anything? See?
No, you have these sharp insights. That's why we're saying you're the resident puzzle cracker. I'm not making fun of you at all, Raj. Quite the contrary, we're praising you.
I think your praise is misplaced. For once. Sounds to me like from history, it sounds to me like another of William Carlos Williams' poems.
Like a what poem? Like a short what poem?
By William Carlos Williams.
Ah, yeah, uh-huh.
Okay. And
It's not though.
We don't care who wrote it. We don't care who wrote it. Let's try and first understand what's being said.
So basically it makes fun. I think one is it takes off on the practice nowadays of labeling everything as free range, and sort of, so like you get eggs from free range chickens and so on, right? So this one is fed free range desire. That means, you know, there's no control of the desire. It's been going all over the place. And even though that's the case, it's still being confined in a cage and not let out, so that it looks uh, controlled, but it's actually smoldering. And
So what's it all about? What's going on here?
And it's aged. Hold on a second. So, and it's aged like wine, made subtle with age. Okay, so that's the literal meaning of it. All right. Okay.
Anybody got an answer?
Yeah, no.
Well,
Sunita.
you know, the metaphors or actually the direct words used just took me on to the vegan way of thinking. And I'm a vegan, by the way. So it just, it's all natural. I mean, animals are, animal agriculture is so cruel and so horrible, but it's all said, it's all natural. And it's powerful flavor made subtle with age. I'm not quite sure what that means, but domestically raised in a comfortable cage. So it's domestically, but it's in a cage. So it's not actually, it's something that's horrible, but it's shown as free. And so it's like free range desire. Fed only free range desire. But the free range is like, they'll say cows or hens, they're allowed to be free, but actually they are caged. They're not actually free. So it's like, it's a lie. It's like saying something is wonderful, but actually it's not. And there's probably a lot of rage because of that. And all grilled, and then it's grilled on a smoldering fire. So like, I love my animals, but I'm going to kill you and eat you and grill you on a smoldering fire. So, but I say I love you. So it's all a very nasty little combination. It's not, it's false and hiding my actually what I'm doing, and so it's actually rage. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it just
You're trying to crack it, and it's good to stick to the text like this. It's in the words, whatever the meaning of the poem is. It's in there, in these funny words, contradictory words.
It's subtle with age. I suppose as I'm growing older, because it's happened, going on could be that a thing. So by now it's really, and it's all natural. So it's like justified, and it's not come from outside apparently. And domestically raised in a comfortable cage. Domestic could be meaning something within the home, and only fed free range desire. I don't know. I guess you desire free range. So you're pretending, you're told it's free range, but they're like they're free, but they're not free.
But wait, what is fed on free range desire is the rage. I think we're missing the word. The poem is all about rage, anger, real. I don't want to use the word hatred, but anger. And so this poem is about anger.
The other side of it that I got, the other feeling was that everybody is so worked up and angry these days. Everybody is feeling justified, and I feel this and I feel that, and everything is justified, and we're all of us just going on like that.
Not me.
You'll have your something or the other which will cause your reaction. We all have. I don't know. I think so. Something is going to provoke you, and then your free range desire, natural rage will come out. And we're all crazy like that.
Anybody else have a go? Mickey Kaur. Rahul as well. Mickey, go, Mickey. I called your name first.
Okay. I thought this is a wonderful poem, because the more you read it, the more it unfolds. I like the use of the words today's special. Now, usually in restaurants, that's what they say today's special is. And it's usually something that they've made a bunch of, they want to quickly get rid of, they usually pay less money, or you could pay less money for it or whatever. So they call it special when it's really not. And this rage, it reminds me of the angst that we all are feeling globally, really. And it's become so much part of a culture at large that it's become natural. And this smoldering fire, the more I read that, is almost like the culture that we are in. That it is our rage is being grilled and made tender and flavorful with age.
Yeah, you're getting there. I think you're cracking it. You're cracking it.
And then this whole idea that it is domestically raised in a comfortable cage, that reminds me of a Hindi word called sukrog, which means where comfort becomes a disease. That we have become so comfortable, and in our own row houses, domestically, I guess you could call it, in your own home or in your own country or whatever. But we become so comfortable with desires that are free range. And what free range means to me is that they don't have any boundaries. So there's this hedonistic quality. When I read the free range, I read hedonism in there. So desire, and especially when it's attached to the word desire. So this kind of hedonistic pull towards more and more desire and more comfort has resulted in this special that we have going on, which is rage. So anyway, that's
you've helped us crack the middle part, but not the exact what the rage is all about. Rahul.
Yeah, I thought that this is a satire on eating animals whom we raise domestically. Could also mean a farm where they kept in cages, and that free range bit is more of a desire. A true free range is in the forest, but giving them a few square meters to feed in is giving them free range desire. And the natural rage, today's special is all natural rage grilled on a smoldering fire. I think that's about how the anger, the whole angst of it, where an animal has been killed and then grilled. Its powerful flavor made subtle with age. Well, I think it's somewhere there. Rest, I think all of you really, Nikki has done a good job of trying to make sense of it, but it's a very powerful poem, I think.
Can I come in? Because my opinion is a little bit the opposite of what you're saying, Rahul. It's saying that we're all, the rage is the new fashion for everything green and ecological. That this is the new rage that, let me just look at the text. It's grilled on a smoldering fire, its powerful flavor made subtle with age. So as we get older, we are now becoming more
subtle,
choosy about what's natural and what's flavorful. Today's special is all natural rage. This is the green revolution and everything being uncorrupted, domestically raised in a comfortable cage. This anger, desire for everything natural has been comfortably raised, a little bit like Madame Kaur just said. In our luxury, we've given free range to our desire, And what we want is everything natural, grilled on a smoldering fire. And the smoldering fire is this anger against everything unnatural. So this whole green revolution is a smoldering fire for all the good conscience people who've suddenly found that eating meat or eating things with, I think meat is the main one, is all very bad, and we're now against it all. So this is the rage of the people who are vegans and people like that. What do you say about that, Rahul? This is the opposite of what you were saying.
Yes, it does make sense, but I don't know if domestically raised in a comfortable cage and fed only free-range desire, I don't know whether that fits in, because a comfortable cage and domestically raised could only be an animal, I thought.
No, it's the rage that's comfortably domestically fed. It's in our comfortable middle-class homes. We are raising this anger against all the cruelty against animals, while we ourselves are fed free-range desire, all creature comforts for ourselves, and then we complain about and then the fashion is to complain about animal cruelty, etc.
But then if it's fed only free range desire, then don't shift to we are fed. It is again that the rage is being fed free range desire, since the whole focus.
Right, the rage is fed free range desire.
Yeah.
The rage is fed free range desire.
You know, how about the other way around, that the free range desire creates the rage?
The free range desire. Let's look at the text again then.
You know, rage is, you can, it's also used as, you know, a term as it's the passion. This is the rage, you know, short skirt.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
hair. So
Yes, that's true.
It's not just angry, you know. So I think
it's the fashion.
When Raj said that it sounds like a William Carlos William, I sort of agreed with him, because it does sound like somebody who's above all, and he's like, I would say, the armchair communist, right? Who sits back and sits in his comfortable cage and wants all of you, you know, to be communists, because he or she doesn't really have to be out there with the proletariat, you know. So when the first time when I read it, I was like, this sounds like that armchair communist, right? That all of us, you know, when we were growing up, we were communists. We came from sort of advantaged families, and we felt very much in touch with the poor man. But what did we really do to help the poor man? Not a whole lot. We did everything for ourselves. So I thought Raj was had a similar feeling when he said that. And as you read through it, it's you know, it's got double meanings, right? The rage is the anger, but it could also be, you know, it's the thing these days, right? To care for this and care for that, and sitting in your own comfortable environment, and then you're sitting here, you know, the most environmental people, they are globe trotting around the world, going to all the conferences and adding, or you know, the jet fuel is adding to global warming. So we're not looking at our own actions, but we are part of this passion or rage or whatever, and adding, you know, it's a smoldering fire. That, you know,
what's the fire?
That's
what's the fire?
That's fascinating. Can I just say something that's fascinating? So you're touching on the hypocrisy
I think
of interesting.
So it's also in the same vein as you're saying, both of you. It is that, you know, people who are justifying eating meat, which is very cruel agriculture, by saying we are eating, it's all natural. Because there's no such thing as all natural, because no animal wants to lose its life. and it's domestically raised, we're saying, in a comfortable cage, but it's caged nevertheless. It wants to be free, doesn't want to be caged. And free range, there's no such thing as free range. Somebody said it's given a little bit of land and then you say this is free range. It's not actually wild. So yeah, and then it's grilled. It becomes grilled. So it's dead and grilled. And then made subtle with age, maybe, where they nowadays they will even add various things into the pork or whatever, which is preserved and all that, to take away some of the meatiness or something like that. So
yeah, Sunita, I'm a meat eater, and
I'm sorry.
I don't mind being eaten either.
I don't know if anybody wants to eat you.
And Mickey, you have your hand up for a long time. Mickey or Minnie, whatever. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Mickey,
I'll take
your
that back.
hand is up.
Sorry. I'll roll over it.
I think.
Okay, I think we've got to come to an end here. And Kumkum, you sum up what you think this poem is all about, because we are quite confused. And maybe you have an answer because you've had time to think about it.
I did think about it. I think this poet is just making fun of us about everything. It's pre-drained desire. We sort of sit in our rooms and think about how the ideal world should be. That's our desire. We want to live in this ideal world. We're not really thinking about how A leads to B or B leads to C. We want to live in this utopia, and creating this smoldering fire about criticizing or the animosity, the different sides that line up about global warming or vegetarianism or whatever you want to do. And so I think that he's actually just asking us to think about our anger or our very strong positions against this or for this or whatever, and the consequences of it. That's what I knew out of it. And
yeah, I think when you say it like that this is a sarcastic poem against the new fashion of being green. I think that's what this is all about, especially comfortable middle-class people who've not actually got to face they've no real reason except to make a cause of their greenery.
Who's the poet?
What about all these people who want to have guns? They have this like Second
Yeah,
Amendment.
no, let's not get to who's the poet?
Pardon? Oh, the
The
poet
name?
is Warren Decker.
How do you spell the last name?
I'll write it out.
Yeah, send it to us on WhatsApp.
I got this book. My husband gave me this
Kumkum
book.
on WhatsApp.
I will, but I got this book, which is a very good book, The Best American Poetry from 2018. And it's got poems that are 10 pages long and short poems. And I always go for short ones because I don't have the patience to read a 10-page poem. So I would recommend this book too. I will send the poet. Thank you.
Should read Rustam and Saurabh.
Okay, we're moving to the next poem, ladies and gentlemen. Raj, you sent a shortish poem this time. So away we go. 1 second. Coming towards you. It's with you now. I think we've read it now, Raj.
All right, here we go.
Away
The
you
man
go.
from Hong Long, long ago, I met the man from Hong Kong. He was playing on a concertina, reveling in the peace of the Ganga, flowing past the ashram of Shivananda. I was his neighbor, a boy of 7. Shy but curious, I approached gingerly. Back then, strangers were not taboo. He invited me in and played a tuneful melody. Sing a song and I will play with you along, said he. I don't know any, replied I. You do, you can sing most anything. Ba ba, black sheep, we sang, and the concertina accompanied us as we stood on that balcony overlooking Ganga. That rhythm and that image in the mind remain vivid. Mindful rhythms give a mind a healthy refuge.
A bit fast you're reading, Raj, but
Okay.
because the poem is quite simple and we have it in front of us, we can go into the discussion straight away. Does anybody want it reread again? No, I think we're okay. Okay. Who would like to say something?
Nobody likes anything.
Chitra, are you raising your hand, Chitra?
No, I was just
Fiddling.
unmuting myself. Yeah. I think it's a very simple, as you said, a very simple poem, more of a narrative. And I think it's very well written. And I like the last para, especially the last verse. That rhythm and that image in the mind remain vivid. Mindful rhythms give a mind a healthy refuge. It's I'm gathering it's a memory of Raj himself. I don't know who's written it, but
Of the poet, we don't care who wrote it.
yeah, no, but because it's related to that, so I thought. I mean, there's not really much to say about it except that I think it's very well written.
It's true. It's a charming poem, a charming memory, and that's what we're getting. We're getting the innocent encounter of a young boy by the riverside, and his nursery rhyme being accompanied by the musical talent of a man from Hong Kong by the Ganges, and the whole thing becoming a very sweet incident, episode, memory, and then a poem which speaks to all of us because it's talking about our childhood encounters which remain with us all our life. And they have a mixture of things in them for them to stay with us all our lives. And here we're getting a lot of ingredients that make such a memory memorable. And although this poem is speaking about this particular memory, its universal effect is that it touches on each of ours encounters of a similar kind here or there. And the things that there are here are the river, the music, the strange man from somewhere else, and Baba Black Sheep. All of that is a very powerful combination to draw the reader in. Rahul?
So what I gathered was that, from our childhood, when we are of a very impressionable age, when you're still in a meditative state, as they say, the alpha state, a lot of memories remains, such peaceful or such rhythmic or melodious memories remain in our hearts. Like sometimes colors that remain vivid from, some encounters or some sightings or whatever. Then sometimes we go back in reverie and enjoy them, I guess. I enjoy them. They, as the poet has written, gives them refuge. And I think that is the point of the poem. He's described that memory, and then he's said that this is my point of reference when I go back and to that moment. It's so vivid in my memory.
It's a restful place. He gives us an idea that it's a healthy refuge. Such memories are a healthy refuge.
Can I just
Yeah.
add
Sunita,
something?
bolo.
Yeah. Just wondering at the use of the word mindful rhythms. What is a mindful rhythm? I don't know. I mean, kind of mindful rhythm. I thought, someone could read more into it. Maybe he just means rhythms. First, I thought
Yes.
it's just rhythms, that singing. Maybe mindful because your mind was also engaged there. Give a mind a healthy refuge. And in the beginning, maybe Raj has only written this, but otherwise I was wondering why the man is from Hong Kong. Is there some significance in that? And then the background is being made with the peace of the Ganga, that is already there. It's already a peaceful place. It's already got a certain ambience. And then the music on top of it. And then the child singing whatever he likes to. So then the whole thing would be very, evocative and effective and all that, impressionable. And the thing of innocence comes in.
There's a question I want to ask. I've forgotten the final line of Baba Black Sheep. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. One for my master, one for my dame, and then what's the third one for?
One for the little boy who lives down the lane.
Correct.
One
Now,
for the little boy who lives down the lane.
correct. So isn't this part of the poem that he is a little boy who lives down the lane? I'm wondering.
Now this is really baal pe khal nikalna.
Were you testing us, Harvaz?
No, I think I wasn't quite sure if it was a little boy who lives down the lane. I thought it was,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
that's
Oh,
why,
okay.
and that's why it's pertinent to the poem, or it could be. One could throw it in because there is a little boy who lives down the lane in the poem. But I think it wasn't too intentional that.
Yeah, I think this mindful rhythms could be that as a grown-up also, we can sing along and rhythmically, and that feels so good. So mindful rhythms give a mind a healthy refuge. That now also they give you a healthy refuge.
Mm-hmm.
Mindful sort of means that you don't forget, right? So if you can remember these rhythms, so many things happen in your life, and you move on from one to the other to the other. But if you can remember some incidents that evoked peace and love, and you bring them back to your mind when you're stressed or when you're free or whatever, it's a healthy refuge. It feels good.
See, mindful here refers back to the lines, 2 lines before it. So you have this particular image, and so it's a mindful image, and it's a rhythm, and
So it's
that is a mind healthy refuge. That's one.
So you have that image and thing in your mind, and that's how it's mindful.
So you want me to summarize?
Yeah, please summarize, Raj.
Now, first thing is, this is actually a true story. And the ashram of Shivananda, in those days it was...
Are you the author? Are you the author?
Yeah. And the ashram of Shivananda is in Rishikesh. And the Ganga flows right past the ashram, and it's, at least from my memory of it, it was very beautiful. Okay. And the other thing about an ashram is that people somewhat drop their guard. They're not on guard as much as they would outside in society. So this is an actual man from Hong Kong that I met. I was 7 years old, and I looked into his room, and he greeted me and he said, "Okay, let's uh, play a tune." And then also the line, you can sing almost anything, finds an echo in the Sound of Music. In the movie Sound of Music, she says,
Yeah.
Maria says, you can sing most anything. So that's where that comes from. And then you have the backdrop. It's beautiful. So you're standing in the balcony. The Ganges is flowing by, and somehow that image and picture has remained in my mind all these years. So, and I wasn't that sure about the last stanza, but I think it seems okay. So, yeah, it, yeah, okay, that's basically because sort of I needed to connect the. See, it's true that the rhythm and that image, it remains vivid in my mind. Okay, and and the last part is kind of a little philosophizing, which I tried to avoid if possible. Okay, so it just snuck in.
No, the philosophizing was what? I didn't catch.
I said the philosophizing snuck in, and typically I try to avoid it. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so,
Yeah.
But we like the last stanza, Raj.
thank you, Chitra.
Very nice. Okay. We're now going to move to the next poem, which I think we have had before, but we can have it again. And it was submitted by Rahul. And as we have the time, I'm going to put it all up and for you people to have a quick read, and then Rahul will take us through. Please read, and I'll be back in a second.
Who's yawning?
Me. It's late at night here. One is
It is.
tired.
It is.
Yeah.
Are you going to start
And
reading it?
the more I try to suppress the yawn, the
Yawn.
more tired I feel. So I let
Yes.
it come out of it. Then I
Yeah.
wake up.
It makes
are you
us feel yawn as well.
Sorry.
I thought I'll wait for Arman's. I think
No,
he
I
said,
think carry on.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll hear you, no? We'll hear you.
Yeah,
okay, so
he must have read it. Yeah.
I didn't know that this has been read before in the circle. Must be in
I
the
don't.
of
I
months.
don't remember hearing it. No.
not wrong, but it
Nor
either.
do I.
At
Okay.
all the-
Remember it? I don't remember it.
no,
I haven't heard it at least.
Still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed heads and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awfully hard, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Well, we all get the force of the poem, but and we've had it here before. Anything new that can be said about it?
Somehow, sir, nobody's heard of it. I wasn't there for the first two meetings.
no,
I
I
joined
remember the poem.
You remember the poem being read? Okay.
Who remembers it being read?
Yeah, I
Raj?
do.
Yeah, I think we did read it here. Yeah. Well, do we all get the references to Africa and slavery and the diamonds, the gold, the riches of Africa, and the spirit of Africa that will rise up against the historical injustice that has happened to all the black people who were moved in slavery? And this is the poem. It's a poem about that, and it's a pep talk to all the oppressed people of the world to keep hope and that our day will come.
Well, today I was seeing a movie about, people who are coming from China and they're going to be made slaves in America, and they come in containers and all that. And I was thinking, this is the current slavery which is going on. Nobody talks about them. There are so much human trafficking going on, and how many people are enslaved and they don't even look like slaves. So we don't even know that's going on. Just thought of that. Mm.
Yeah, there's plenty of injustice still in this world, for sure. But another aspect of this poem is that it's obviously being written by, or the voice of the poem is by a very confident, good-looking, sexy Black woman in high heels who is saying, I hope you get the feeling that I can walk all over you. It's a kind of it's a high position, it's a haughty position against all the people who have been denigrating Black people. You see what I'm trying to say? There's a tone in there of provocation.
Where did you get the high heels from?
It's just the idea of a very sexy Black woman walking and being sexy.
Okay, so high heels is your addition.
It's just an image of that. See, these boots are going to walk all over you. I think it's that these high heels are going to walk all over you. It's that kind of an idea.
We get to know some of the imagery in your mind.
Indeed, the women like this are stunning. No, it's a good stance. It's from this position that that people will get back their pride and their confidence for the future.
Yes, in the face of all the oppression and all the indignities suffered for so many generations, this is
and continued to be
a
suffered.
poem about dignity.
Right.
And the suffering is still continuing.
Sure. Black Lives Matter is still relevant.
It's also about, how with almost nothing, the person is still confident and happy. As in, when she says that, does my fasciness upset you? Does my sexiness upset you?
Sorry, you were breaking up there, Rahul. Rahul, hello? Please repeat. It broke up what you said, the last sentence.
Okay, so what I was saying, when she says, it's also says that, the confidence, it shows the confidence of the person, whether the person has anything or not. The joy and the confidence and the happiness shines through. Gives the impression that, I'm so rich, I may not be so rich, yet I'm happy, I'm confident, I know my confidence will take me forward.
Correct.
Like, do you feel upset with, what all I may deem to be having, it's as if I'm so bubbling with confidence that I could give the impression that there's a gold mine I own, or, the diamonds, the impression of being rich, whereas it's just the confidence.
Yeah, I was a little, I'm a little this thing by this paragraph about the sexiness. Okay, the sexiness is wonderful, to be greatly sexy. And then says, does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? I'm not sure if I want diamonds there. And I'm not exactly sure what's the thing about having diamonds.
I think it's just to say that I'm great looking, and I dance
Like I've
like
got
a,
diamonds there.
uh,
God.
it's the diamonds are the diamonds of Africa, by the way. Okay, it's not just
Yeah, but
it's not
That's a
just sexual.
metaphorical.
I dance because I'm rich. I dance with my legs and my body, feeling rich and beautiful. That's what it means.
yeah, one gets that, but the particular usage is a little weird.
You know, I
I
like
guess
some of the analogies, like, but still like dust I'll rise. You know, you may trod me in the very dirt, but
that's
still
all
like
beautiful. Yeah.
very nice. And also there was another analogy, and um, uh, I'm the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. You know, the dream rises, rises, rises. So there were some very beautiful analogies in it as you went through all the other flashy stuff about diamonds at the thighs or whatever. And
The
I
crotch,
think that
crotch.
the diamonds also reflect that, you know, some of the Black culture is sort of very flashy in this country. Um, I mean, everybody's an individual, but they're sort of known to wear very heavy and blockish jewelry, you know, like in India, we wear very, you know, sort of intricate jewelry. I thought they may be.
Master Ji,
Nadia, I'm busy. I can't talk now.
Okay, call me later.
Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the last poem and thereby end for the evening in 1.5 hours.
Who wrote this poem?
Ah,
Yeah, this is a very famous American poet called Maya Angelou.
Oh, Maya Angelou.
Oh, Maya. Okay.
yeah, and she's black.
Yes.
She's, of course, she was, she's no more, and she's black. And
She was a poet laureate too,
widely, yes, widely acclaimed, yes.
okay, here come some poems submitted by me for your pleasure.
Oh, they're going to be very hard.
I have a very bad reputation, but I'm trying to change it by this poem. Here you go.
Oh God, the 7 shortest poems in the world. Thought.
Okay.
So I don't think you need half an hour to read this poem. So here we go. The 7 shortest poems in the world. Thought, brain, train, architecture, brick, trick, habit, quit it, insomnia,
Bad habit.
nap, gap, plagiarist, edits, credits, elderly love, last, lust, whore, quick, pick. Well, I'll let anybody else say a few words before we close for the evening.
It's like one of those forwards on WhatsApp.
Aha.
All those clever things which come.
I don't agree with elderly love being last lust. I think elderly is usually without lust. You know, you're done with the lust. So
Yeah.
it should be if it's like insomnia is a nap gap, okay, that's a definition, right? So I'm assuming these are sort of plagiarist edits credits, he doesn't give credit, he edits his own work with stuff from everybody else. So I totally disagree with last. And or a quick pick, I mean, I guess, I wouldn't know how to, there must be
I didn't
mentors.
understand that either.
Quick pickup, maybe that it's an abbreviation of a quickie. It's just an abbreviation of a quick
Very
encounter.
very masculine point of view also.
It is. It's what a whore's job is.
Yeah, it talks about a female whore, basically, right?
There could be a male,
But there can be a male whore too. And there are.
Harbal's
gigolo.
getting into trouble. Harbal's going to get into trouble.
No, well, Harbans hasn't written it, so it's okay.
But let's move on to something else. I mean, apart from
LTD
just
love and whore.
yeah, I was thinking, because we have poets in this group and we talk about poetry, but this is an example, an exercise in brevity, in how you can say quite a lot with 2 words, and you can cover a subject, architecture, with brick trick. I mean, it's possible to define a subject or say something intelligent about it with just 2 words. And this shows you the power of brevity and conciseness. And this is the joy of poetry, that you can say huge things that would take 500 pages. You can say them with half a page, if not 2 words. And this is a lesson in that. I think this poem illustrates a little bit the power of these words, of the interconnections.
Not quite. I mean, you realize that architecture also involves stone, right?
Yes.
So
no, but the point is that it has those 2 words, brick trick, with all their own connotations, say a lot.
See,
if you see what I mean.
The problem with too much brevity is also that you leave out a lot of stuff.
Too much brevity is also?
Yeah, you have to hit moderation in between.
Of course.
And
no, it is very it's very concise, and it leaves you to think about things, like insomnia, nap gap, it describes it very well.
Yeah.
Whether you have insomnia, whenever you have it, and bad habit, quit it. That's sort of it's very clever. I thought it's very clever. That leaves a lot to.
One can say variety is the spice of life. So this brief thing is also one of the poems.
Right.
Mm.
Like you can also add Sunita, colon, and below that put boomerang.
What? Come again? Sunita, something boomerang?
Sunita, colon, and under that say boomerang.
Ayyo.
This is a new 2-word poem.
Sunita,
is this a 2-word?
Boomerang? I have to think about this.
You got a boomerang like hanging on the wall. See?
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking now, oh dear, what is it, Sunita boomerang? Sunita goes and comes and hits herself on the head or what? Boom.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end with a boomerang for this evening, but on time And
No,
we'll meet again in a month's time from now.
Alphonse, the
Okay.
poet. The
Thank
poet.
you very much indeed
You
for
didn't
all
tell
of
us the
your
poet.
contributions.
The name of the poet.
Ah, the name of the poet, I'll send it to you. He's a living poet, not somebody famous, but I will send it to you right now so that you have it right now.
And what's it called? Or the name is of the poem is the 7 shortest poems in the world. Is that the name of the
Yes,
poem?
Yeah.
yes, yes.
I like Brain Dream also. That was
Huh?
very nice.
You like what?
Paul Hartal.
Thought being a brain
It's by Paul Hartal. Strike. The name of the poet is Strike. Hartal.
Hartal.
Strike for long poems.
He's on a hartal. No long poems.
We're mixing up things here. Anyway, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Raj,
everyone.
Sunita, Chitra, Kumkum, and Rahul. Thank you very much. And we'll meet again
Thank you.
soon. Best
Thank you,
wishes to
Raj.
all of you. Take care.
Good
Take
night.
great care.
Good night,
Sunita, are you in
everyone.
India, Sunita?
Yes, I'm in India, in
And
Pune.
Chitra, are you in India?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Rahul, you're up in the
We
hills.
will.
Yeah. Take care. Take care.
Everybody
All right,
take care.
everybody. Love to
Bye.
you.
Guys,
Bye.
love
Good
Bye.
night.
you.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.